Knights of the Anime Table will not be seen tonight, so we may bring you a special presentation.
What's up, everyone?
I don't know.
Bob, you
Ta-da!
need psychological help.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Me? No. Not
so we're gonna be talking
Mm-hmm.
on like a lot of big topics, since as we know
Yeah.
about we heard more censorship news going on because since we know the UK had a taste of it.
I
Online
posted
protection.
about censorship and I got kicked off Facebook. And luckily, I lodged an appeal immediately.
Mhm.
And luckily, I don't know if it was the AI or, luckily it just decided to undo everything it just banned me for when I appealed. So
Yeah.
normally it takes you to that wacky appeal
inaction
page.
right there, folks. Started by the Tories, but really driven through by Labor. Congratulations, morons.
Yeah. Normally it goes through to that stupid appeal process, that web page that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Facebook is, well, I think at the forefront of corporations with no customer service.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the thing is, why are they so
Everyone's
lazy not
scared.
having customer service?
I don't know. See, there's no law that makes them.
Everybody. Now they're unscared.
The world sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Facebook is a monopoly funded by the government, okay?
It's also quickly becoming the next MySpace. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm barely on there at all.
Same here, but at some point,
You know what's ironic is MySpace does technically still exist. It's used for
Oh yeah.
pages.
Oh yeah, I've still got a page there, but
But the thing is, MySpace is used for music.
That's why I said it's used for band pages now. That's not what it was. I never got the whole MySpace thing anyways. I hated that site when it was popular.
yeah. I think it started off as a band thing, and now it's back to being a band thing. So.
Yeah, I see a lot of band. It's basically a band thing on MySpace, like music and culture.
Mm-hmm.
But what will happen in Facebook will end up will be ending to be.
It's the millions of robot accounts that are created at the beginning of Facebook that keeps it alive, right?
Most of these big social medias, all of them are struggling.
Yeah.
Because people are getting fed up with all the bots. They're getting fed up with all the corruption. They're getting fed up with all the censorship. And most people who aren't hardcore psychos who are on whichever side of whichever social media it is don't like the shit that's being done. So they're pushing away from it.
Yeah.
You can see it from everything from Facebook to the hard left blue sky stuff to X and everything in between. They're all suffering right now.
Yeah. Have you seen
fed up with the biases and the censorship?
Yeah.
Have you seen a legitimate ad? Hold on. Have you seen a legitimate ad on YouTube, Facebook, or X for a legitimate company?
Few and far between.
Few, not much.
You'll get a few,
obscure,
but they're like mixed in with a whole bunch of bot companies that are scamming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this.
Other than Kickstarters, I think the majority of legitimate ads I've seen are Kickstarters.
And here's the as I see so far, which I got tired of hearing. Oh, I'm gonna buy your house. This house buying scam is basically a.
Have you? Yeah. One of the greatest things you could ever do is get into the. They used to be serious pages, all these pages for like the tiny houses and the city living and stuff like that, and they've been taken over by these AI companies now, and they're the funniest damn shit where you can see like walls going into a tub and stuff, and all this like weird staircases that drop you off the edge of the building.
And the thing is, it is a scam that they're doing. Like, oh, they think they'll buy your house of any condition. The only thing is they'll end up giving you less what you are selling in market value.
Remember, they buy houses at the condition price, so they come in at market value, right?
Yeah.
And then discount them by condition.
Well, these aren't even house seller sites. These are literally just pages that were dedicated to people living in certain lifestyles and how you can make that lifestyle comfortable. But they've been taken over by these AI systems. And the AIs are apparently as bad at designing houses as they are drawing fucking hands.
Yeah.
This stuff is low. I've got to pull some of this stuff up and show you. It's fucking hilarious. One sec, I've got to show you this. Oh, give me just a sec.
I think the only give me a sec. Because the only legitimate company I've seen so far is loot boxes. You've heard of the loot box companies, right?
Yeah.
And half of them have gone broke. Basically, what they do is they mass buy from Temu for that 10% discount, and they put it basically in a shiny box in Amazon and ship it out.
Yeah.
They're inside Amazon, but they're not, and they're in that. They don't seem to be a registered Amazon company. They just use Amazon services.
Yeah.
Oh, and Netcat, sorry to hear you're feeling sick.
But you're right. They're an AI company, but they're close to the legitimate side of AI. You know, they actually ship products, although they are from Temu.
let me show you guys this shit a sec. This is so fucking hilarious. Because this really was a legitimate place when they started. They're not anymore. Like this. They're almost designed like they're supposed to look like they're okay.
Yeah.
But you can tell they're AI with like there's actually no way to get into the bed areas. The beds are hanging on the ends. There's no rail. There's like and this is nowhere near the most egregious I've seen.
Yeah.
Not even close, in fact. And the outsides they can make look semi-decent if you don't blink and look too much. But when they go to show you interiors for these supposed small homes, they are so like the door to nowhere upstairs. The bed's too big for the corner. The staircase is disjointed and all this stuff. But this is less horrible than a lot of the ones I've seen. It's like, here you go, the randomly open bathroom to the staircase, the dining room table blocking the stairs. The fridge sticking into the pathway, the microwave in the oven, your disjointed places, all this shit. You just
that's not the most egregious ones. I covered the
It's not. I'm looking through because I've seen much worse. This is getting there.
Yeah. I covered the Ukraine war, and I won't say which side because basically they all do it, but a lot of media sites, you start to see AI pictures on media sites.
Okay, who wants to get into how many bad things there are in this one? The weird ceiling that's not actually formed, the railing that's not actually attached,
it looks like
the stairs with no rail that make no sense and are actually into the railing, not into the opening. The couch or the open space that's not the same size as the open door.
Is there anything outside that door over the water?
The biggest problem is the wrong shadows. You've got too many light source. You got the external light source, which is like in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Well, I look at these addictively as a carpenter because I find these so fucking hilarious because I went through OSHA and working as a carpenter and remodeling cabins and small houses and shit like that. So I look at this shit and I just sit here and and nitpick every fucking little thing going.
But from a design point, everybody's going to be bumping their head on that stairs going to the exit.
Yeah, and the rocks right here, jagged over that, the really low ceiling here that's not shaped correctly, the light that hangs into the bed, the weird windows that are leaning into where your head goes and stuff. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You'd think there'd be certain design parameters programmed in, but then...
Hey, look, a staircase to a blank wall with no gap to head to the bed from.
Yeah, they could also think, though, that to be how many fingers are on a human hand would be automatically programmed in, but they haven't got that either.
That's true.
It's like, I don't know why I find this so hilarious just to look through sometimes, but I do. And the more they get criticized for the interior designs, the more they're just posting these little cutesy outside ones.
Don't look inside. Yeah.
It's like, look at this one. Look at this. I've seen ones with toilets like floating in the middle of the kitchen on the counter and shit before.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was gonna say, have you seen the one where you got the master chair and at first it looks fine, but then you suddenly realize it's a Japanese toilet?
But it's so photorealistic. It didn't jump out at you at first.
I was looking at the center chair wondering, is that a Japanese toilet? Because a lot of them look like that. You actually do. You start to notice Japanese toilets appearing in some of these house photos.
Oh, and here's the weird one where the TV is floating in the middle of the room, right around the kitchen where you're working. And the stairs are over all the shelves, so you can't really get at them. And there's like the office that makes no sense right against the bathroom, which the bathroom is somehow built in. If you look at the bathroom and where they show it, somehow the toilet's in the same location as the sink here. I mean,
how civilized.
It's like the fuck.
Yeah.
The architecture clearly Gallifreyan. Okay. Yeah.
This is what Pablo Picasso would have done if he crank called architects.
It's a good one.
Fuck.
Oh.
It's like, what is this shit? Even this one is supposed to be really basic and simple. It makes no sense, and there's no kitchen.
It's from the architectural firm BMS or what?
I was just gonna say, it's like, is this a this is a drug den, right? It's got to be a drug den, upper class drug den.
That's something, because there's like no kitchen at all, but there's
definitely an upper class drug den.
It's like, what the fuck?
But have you noticed how many social media sites? Actually, like, definitely, like, I've gone weeks without seeing ads on it.
Can we point out that a sliding glass door is not going to open into an angled glass side? Can we start with that one, please? Also, why would you even put a door connecting a small kitchen to a living room like that?
Yeah.
Was there a lip on the inside windows? Isn't it the external shutter?
I mean, sometimes they'll put like trim and stuff, but those aren't trim. That's just like hard wood. It's like really, really weird. And then look, the toilet is crammed so tightly in there, you don't even have room on either side for a roll of toilet paper.
But my father would build, and he would say, the actual, your window lip, the reason why windows have a lip like that was actually to mount storm shutters. So why would you have a storm shutter mount on the inside?
Can we ask also why the dog in the middle of the room has a giant chunk cut out of his stomach?
Whoops.
No, I can't see all the fine detail, but I'm wondering, how do you open the closet when the bed's right beside it?
That too, right?
It reminds me of a hotel. How the fuck are you supposed to get to the toilet and the other side of the bed if somebody is up there, not just one person?
That's from Gallifrey.
Over the bed to get to that shit. And why is there only a toilet up here where you have to go over the bed to get to it?
Yeah.
I find these so fucking hilarious. Oh, look at the weird clawfoot tub with a clear glass door leading into everybody hanging out in the living room.
Hi.
I come out of the toilet. Hi, everybody. Wait a minute. Where's the shower? Where's the shower? Are you actually having a shower? Are you having a shower with a clear door, with a clear view? Everybody's just down there looking up. Yeah. I can see what you had for breakfast.
Lord, this is just like, what the hell?
There's your birthmark. Yeah.
Also, why are they so obsessed with putting like 30, 40 types of staircases in every tiny little room?
Staircases, yeah.
See, this may be AI generated, but this one at least looks possible. Over the top, but possible, Whereas some of these are just so, you start, even look at this, you look at the ceilings dysfunctioned here, the rails aren't correct. It's like you start looking close, and while it looks okay at a glance, it's like,
You know what also the problem is the skewed perspective doesn't actually, it oversizes the house. So when you're looking in the interior, you're suddenly realizing, wait, this is just one room.
It hides a lot of falls.
Yeah, it hides the size.
Hey, look, they've got an arch there leading into the rail.
Yeah.
Boy.
Same. That's not an arch on the rail. It's an arch right before it. It's really weird.
That's possible. That's if it's a support arch for the upper floor, but
it's possible, but you're supposed to build the rail to match with it so it doesn't look like it's a disjointed Picasso.
yes. But I'm saying that's the problem. These houses have a false perspective
Hey, look,
to them
that's
straight
missing a whole
away.
section of the roof.
Okay.
And that part of the roof looks like it's coming off.
It's incomplete. It's
A
got a
glorified shed.
Also, where's half of the support, the foundation?
It's floating.
That's one of those porta potty houses.
It's
It's
nasty.
really a porta potty. It's a rich man's outdoor, you know.
Whatever happened to Doug Henning? He went into architecture. It's
The
magic.
bathroom there
Yeah.
has a living room chair in the middle of it.
Oh, God. Okay, I think it's taking the reference of the bathroom as the library a little too literally.
I don't know what the hell is with
That
this.
stairs is skewed over the TV. That's weird.
It's all weird because the angles are all wrong. Nothing matches.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh, and look, there's a wall here jutting into the stairs, so the stairs end
that's
in
right.
the end
Even
here.
the top.
So you
the
can't
top floor
access
is-
the top
What?
because the stairs go to nowhere. They go to a wall.
What's with that
Yeah.
angle? What does it have an angle? What the? Oh,
That's
God.
what I'm saying. It's improperly skewed. It's definitely
Mhm.
everything is at a wrong angle on that one, particularly the arch.
That
You can't
door
have
does
an
not
arch
match that
that touch the
opening.
ceiling because there's no support. There's no support beam. That wall will just fall out.
Also, that door does not fit that opening
Yeah.
Mm.
at all. I hope you like the great outdoors being in your house.
Mhm.
Yeah, but then you suddenly realize that's not a house. That's a room.
That's just a
I mean,
shed.
I'm not completely opposed to tiny houses. I know why they were created. I know they.
No,
didn't
I've
single people
I've
and
seen
stuff.
tiny houses, but when I was on a building commission for it was a temporary job, but building commission for the state, and we had all these different house designs, and we had to pick them apart. And then we went to one of their building sites where the builders had actually done all these test houses. Some of them were closets. Okay, not even one person could lie down in them.
Mm.
But they kept assuring that, they'll improve, you know, that they'll meet the minimum. Because they couldn't cram in the 5 minimums into basically what was 4 squares. You know, you're trying to squeeze. We'd at least force them to 6 squares, basically.
How come the
But
house
a lot of them are just
goes
one
off
room,
from
and
the
they're trying
elements
to
at all?
cram everything in. Yeah.
That should be
Especially
the
the house type and the plant type means this is a hurricane area, which means the storms are going to blow straight in that opening and just destroy the
Yeah.
house.
If anything, that should be the garage. What the hell? Or a
But
carport.
it's not. That's the kitchen.
That's yeah.
Okay.
That's 3, but at least it's more than 6 squares. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
not trying to fit everything into 4 squares. You know, I mean that is at least a decent size. That's too small. That's too small. It's too narrow.
Yeah. And look, I know people who live in actual literal tiny homes.
That's a real place, by the way.
Yeah. But it's also definitely AI altered.
No,
image.
but
you can
it
can
was
see
featured in the movie.
AI altering
Yeah,
the image. I'm not
That
saying it's
was
not a real place. I'm saying they still ran it through an AI.
It's
yeah.
complete.
But it's actually a change room. It's not a house. That's the change room. The real house is up on the hill.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
that's the bottom of the stairs. It's one of the Bond movies, you know, where he's doing the.
Mm.
It's at the back of. It's at the boathouse
Wow.
to a casino. It's the pull house to a casino or something in in.
Wait, which one do you want?
that's
The
the
shower
France.
that goes into the toilet, or the toilet and shower being visible to the rest of the rooms?
Hey, everybody, come on in.
God help you if the seals leak.
I will give them some credit for the wall of anime posters, though. That's a nice touch.
Hey, I found Anime Notes placed.
Oh boy.
That's why he has no visitors. He keeps them away.
Oh, here's
It's like
Anime's
in
room
here,
where the magic
don't worry,
happens.
I'll
Yeah.
be in the corner
Yeah.
fapping, right?
This is what happens every time the Mormons knock. He says, "I'm on the toilet." They peek in and they never come back.
It's just the little tiny room with a couch, a TV, a tiny little twin bed, and then the open toilet and shower surrounded by anime posters. Is very
Anime night
and creepy.
Yeah.
It's just saying. It just says, "There's me set up in the corner. I'm fine.
Oh,
yeah, sure he has a cough. Okay.
Why the hell would you build it this small here if you have this much space to build the house? This is like putting yourself in a micro room when you actually have space for a normal size house.
Just about.
Yeah, like I said, the houses have been shrinking for some time. They used to be 100 and they used to be 240, and now they're like down to 100 and something. That's like
you will live in the pods or eat the bugs, and you will be happy.
The tiny houses have existed a long time because the first place my mom lived in during her first marriage was smaller than my fucking living room, and I have a small living room. The whole house.
Saying, when the modern Housing Act was passed, they were 240 squares. They changed the size of the square. The square used to be a foot, but then they made it a meter, right? So, and then it all skewed, and now it's down to like they're trying to squeeze you into basically the size of a living room, basically.
Can I please ask what it is with this website's obsession with glass walls between you and the toilet and shower? Why do they think everyone needs to be on display while they're going to the bathroom?
Privacy is an ancient. You cut that a bush or it comes up. No.
So the security cameras.
You know what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the security camera doesn't have to be in the bathroom.
There's also one right here aimed at the glass of the bathroom on the ceiling.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honestly clear, like these house ideas look complicated and not okay.
Anyway, I just had to show you guys why I've been laughing at this shit a lot.
Yeah, but you're probably getting more of them than me. I'm mostly getting loot boxes and
well, to be fair, I've been involved in carpentry pages and sites since I was a carpenter as a teenager. So I've been even on the Facebook account, I've been involved in carpentry stuff for decades.
For some reason, Facebook has classified me as a painter, not a writer, and they won't fix it.
Yeah, to be honest with Facebook, it's getting out of hand.
Their AI is completely messed up, and they won't
Facebook's
do
a dying
anything.
page
They have no customer support whatsoever now.
But the only thing
how
is,
both girly and gothic I was at the same time as a teenager.
The only thing is they're more focused on Instagram and other gaming stuff.
Here
I am when I was 17.
People are crazy. All right, now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was 17 in this picture.
My God.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they haven't. I'm surprised they haven't banned me for my postal videos.
And in fact, that picture is in the dorms in Job Corps.
Ah.
That was while I was working as a carpenter.
Mm.
Yeah, I was 17 in that picture. I haven't changed a lot, have I?
No, not much. Actually, if you want to know where pod houses will end, if you start putting more people into pod houses, your economy will end up like China. Have you seen what happened to China? Have you heard what's happened to China?
It's collapsing.
Nailing doors closed and windows. And
the entire cryptocurrency system was hacked and shut down. 40 billion stolen.
Notice also, not just the dyed hair that was all gothic black, but the evil twisted smile while holding cute stuffies.
I bet you Kim Il-jung's walking around with some big gold chains right now, and he's going, hackers? What hackers?
So basically what I'm telling you guys is the whole like twisted, grinning, cutesy girl is not
new.
Not new, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that I was 17 in that picture tells you how little I've actually changed the last almost 25 years.
I think
but anyways, guys,
first one's mostly set by 17, I think.
But anyways, guys, besides we know about how we got tired of internet censorship, the American government's doing the same thing as the UK is doing with the bill.
Well, again, just because it's in the bill doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere.
It's true.
Our system is a little bit different.
My little alien guy I got 5 years ago when I was in Roswell.
And the thing is, now more and more people realizing they're using children as a scapegoat. But
yes,
yeah.
Hey, guess what? I've got a pussy on my tits. I mean,
okay,
no,
that's weird. Okay, as I say,
I read that, didn't I? I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Well, again, let's
comments like that is why Bob likes me, isn't it?
Well, I got 3 people watching already. It's a draw. Okay. Anytime we get to try to stream, you're not here. It doesn't do anything. It just sort of lays there. Not even moaning.
Yeah, Shiny, you're right. But they are that basically. Yeah. What gets me is if 1,000 phone calls to Visa can get them to shut down a video game, why can't 1,000 phone calls get it restored? It's not that the Karens have power; it's that the left gives them power.
That's true. And the thing is, the left kind of enable the Karens to do it because here's the thing: feminism right now is like, I'm not saying like not the original feminism, the modern feminism is becoming more like Karenism, to be honest.
You mean nothing to see here ism from the 1930s?
I will always point out the difference between even the early feminists versus the suffragettes because they have tried to link them as one and the same historically, and it's not true. The suffragettes and feminists did not like each other.
Yeah, and here's
you know what got me? I read something recently that one of the suffragettes were willing to only accept the vote, but when it didn't get passed the first time, that's when they got more in bed with the radicals.
Actually, they never wanted just the vote because they wanted to be able to work to take care of themselves.
No, but the first vote was just for the vote. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is the suffragette movement was always about let us support ourselves and take care of ourselves and have some voice. That's all they wanted. They didn't want to bash men or go against the family or all this stuff. They just wanted, if I'm not married, let me support myself so I don't have to be a burden on someone else.
Yeah.
I don't want.
That's what the suffragettes wanted.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think again, it was the fact that the feminists sabotaged the vote because it was a vote only by women for women. So the feminists held back and voted with the extremists, to basically to defeat the suffragettes so that the feminists could take over the suffragettes.
Yeah. And the thing is, where they mostly coming from? Closed, gated neighborhoods, to be honest.
Yeah.
And because
most of them are. Yeah.
And the thing about this,
it depends on which part of the country you were in, because a lot of the suffragettes where I grew
I'm
up,
talking about radicals
who were suffragettes in the era when my grandmother was a kid, was because these were like farm wives who couldn't survive if the husband died and stuff like that. They just wanted to be able to keep their farm and survive and not have to be homeless for kids or shit like that.
I remember a lot of one of the suffragette posters was keep the farm, keep the kids,
Yeah, and the thing is, like the suffragette posters want to do, like here's the thing is, most women want to be equal as men. They don't want to rely on, on one person doing the income all the time,
Yeah. Also, remember, some of them were remembering the different depressions in different countries they went through, where as soon as a man lost a job, everything meant, the state would take the house, etc. But everything got so messed up by the radicals, and we're still trying to clean up the mess.
And the thing
this is why I call out the radical side of things, because there's truth to let's have basic rights. Let's treat everybody equally. And no, you shouldn't be treated differently under the law if you go to the courts. Parents, parental rights, basic human rights, right to be treated the same by doctors and courts and stuff should be universal no matter who you are. That goes to both laws that are for and against women and for and against men. They shouldn't be. They should be absolutely colorblind, gender blind, all that.
That's
the
true.
law should have nothing to do with that. However, this whole pay gap shit and all these other things they try out, the pay gap exists partly because women don't go for the same jobs as men on average. Being myself an ex-carpenter, I'm saying this is an average, obviously.
Yes.
There are outliers, but also, generally speaking, majority of the time, if you have an employee who's taking a lot of extra shifts, working a lot of time, or not taking sick leave or stuff, it's usually the man. And yes, that is unfair. It is because of what maternity leave does. It is because of things like that. But it's also unfair to hold him back because a coworker had to take 6 months off because she had a bad pregnancy that tried to cause her medical issues.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not fair either way, but it sucks, but it's reality.
And also, when you compare the same job, though, it's like, the pay gap is like $1. Okay, it's something.
But it depends on the field. In some fields, women make more. In some fields, men make a lot more. But the pay gap is worse in Hollywood.
Look at fields where men do really make a lot more, like athletics. Okay, the reason is the attendance difference.
Yeah, pay us what you owe us. You owe us, bitch. We're losing money every year.
With exceptions.
You owe us.
If you look at certain athletic things like volleyball, women tend to be better at volleyball than men do. Also, we tend to draw more of an audience to playing it because of the jumping and bouncing.
Yeah.
So men's volleyball gets shit for views compared to women's. And honestly, the men do not tend to do as many insane moves, manage it and catch the ball out of the pocket and shit like that as the women do, because our flexibility is different, and that sport is good for female body types.
And women
but when it comes to the same athletes in basketball, they're absolutely nowhere to be found.
Like I said, the WNBA has been losing money every year. So
people don't like it.
Greedy little bitches, pay us what you owe us. How about you start making some money for us first?
This is why I'm saying it depends on the sport. Most sports, men's sports, pull in more money. Some sports, females do, and those ones, they should get more money than the guys because they're the ones pulling in the money. But if you're making less than the men, you make less than the men.
Yeah,
I like the question. So if the number one woman for golf gets X million a year, shouldn't the 14-year-old boy who beat her get X million a year?
Well, they start getting into how it's like, difference between men and women.
Or the Swedish, or when the World Cup women's football went to play the under-15 boys in Germany and they got trounced. Does that mean those under-15-year-old boys are now going to get paid $1 million each?
No.
This is also why they built sports so different. The way that ice skating is built, men cannot easily perform female routines and get good scores, and vice versa. Female cannot easily perform male routines and get good scores because they're built to the different body types specifically. Same with gymnastics.
And the weight difference.
And so, yes, there are sports where we're not going to be able to compete with each other genetically.
That's true.
Men are going to be better at most of them because overall averages, but there are sports that women are better at too. And they used to build women's sports to accent those strengths of our body types, and they're moving away from that
because of the idiotic movement of equity of outcome. But you notice,
and trans women are women. No, they're not. Not anymore.
No,
than a urinal puck is a puck. Okay.
Their equity isn't men on OnlyFans getting the same as women on OnlyFans. Their equity is female basketballers getting the same as men basketballers.
Yeah.
I don't
isn't equity like this to the average. It's raised the few women to the elite levels of pay.
Now, I will say one place where I will say that the feminists have a valid point is on what they call the pink tax. That it is ridiculous that a lot of female products are made with so much less quality than the male version and charged more for.
Well, to be honest, they're both the same thing.
Did one on this a bunch of years ago.
Some of it's fact and some of it's fiction. They've over-dramatized it. But you go shop for razors. Female razors are so much more expensive for how many shaves you're going to get, and they're so much worse made. This is why I use men's stuff half the time, because the female stuff is so crappily made and so expensive.
I have heard that is particularly to do more with the Chinese manufacturer in mass production of the female razors.
Oh, it is because China doesn't have a regard for women. It absolutely is, and it's partly because we're moving to most of the stuff being produced and made in countries that don't have regard for women. Yeah. So of course they don't view it the same way.
Yeah, I'm just saying most of your women's hygiene products are mass produced in China.
Yeah.
And it has more to do with who's doing the mass production, whereas most of your male products these days are highly specialized because of the high competition for the low sales.
Yeah.
Right? There's more money in it, but there's, so because the product has to be so much more, there's less profit in men's products. So they subsidize it by outsourcing the women's products to China.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's not legitimate things that have led to this situation, but the fact is, it is really difficult. The cost of basic medical and basic clothes and hygiene and stuff for women.
Oddly enough, this is
ridiculous.
This is actually, oddly enough, where Trump has stepped in and got attacked for it when he was talking about the low quality of healthcare product from China.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, but it's a fact.
Bring it back here. We keep an eye on them. Yeah.
No, he just attacked the low quality.
Let me respond to the first part.
Yeah.
And whether or not I agree with everything he does or not, I do not like people who go, well, if I don't like this person, they never did anything right. I have always given credit on the good things, no matter if I support somebody or not, which, by the way, I haven't liked or supported any of these presidents in my lifetime. They can all go fuck themselves. But anyway, that doesn't mean I can't give them credit when they did something right.
Right.
Now, do I necessarily know or believe what his motivation behind it was? No. But is he right saying that these countries are producing shit that's not good for women's health? Absolutely.
And he's not saying that it's a new thing. He's saying in the last 20 years.
Been doing it for years,
Yeah. But you do notice when the first move was made to China, this is what undercut the Japanese, because the Japanese used to undercut American manufacturing by making better products cheaper. Then China undercut them. Right? Japan has never recovered from that because half the Japanese economy was manufacturing, And now that China's manufacturing is like going downhill fast, their entire country is going downhill. But I still think that the country who's been told for the last 10 years, do not adopt digital currency, right? Yeah. Everything you've been doing, all these hackings of banks and everything is going to happen to you.
That's true.
They were and they said, no, we're hackers.
I'm trying to not go too political on the stuff because I'm trying to focus on just the issues we deal with between people here. And yeah, there are issues that women struggle that men don't. There are issues men struggle that women don't. And if you actually sat down and listened to each other, there's a way we could find common ground. Women, stop ignoring men when they talk about the things that they go through, when they talk about not being given their paternal rights, when they talk about never getting to know their kids until they show up at their door as adults. That's not right.
That's
you should not be allowed to hide from a guy that he is a child and not tell him. There's things that do need to change, but there's also guys don't ignore when women talk about how recently it still was that men could abuse spouses.
A lot of guys.
Both sides have valid points.
Yes, but a lot of guys are tuning out because it's not that they have invalid points. It's because what can I do about it, right? Every time it comes to the vote, you, as a woman, keep voting for the party of inequality because the party of inequality kept promising you equality.
Well,
how
there's
often
a yes
do you
and
have
no
to be
to that.
betrayed?
Because I don't believe the voting numbers they give on anything. Because most places, I've lived in so many states and so many cities. I've been through so many votes. Not once have they ever asked me or anybody that I've traveled to the polling place with for an exit poll. But B, have they never done a ballot that actually had gender, age, or anything that on it? So they don't know who the fuck is voting for who. They're making most of it up.
And how honest are people doing extra polls? Oh yeah, I voted for Kamala. Yeah, that's good. I want you to leave me alone so I can go home.
Yeah.
Well, it's also because a lot of people with your minority, if you're female, you have such a social stigma on not doing things a specific way that you will say that that's what you did just so you're not going to be gone after. You're not going to be canceled. You're not going to be called a traitor. You're not
Political
going to be
harassment
out.
is
So
a
I
big
don't
problem.
believe the numbers are what they say they are. I really don't, because I've never, outside of a few major cities, I've never known almost any women who fit these feminist stereotypes or vote that way.
Yeah.
So I think it's fan
I
fiction.
would say you're right on that, because
I think we should at some point, let's pivot around a little bit.
I remember a big rally that I saw on TV at New York, and I was thinking, geez, Bloomberg's gone, de Blasio's not going to get back in. And yet, all of a sudden, the next day, it's like almost nobody voted Republican. It's like, what? No way. The rallies are totally skewed, but the voting is totally skewed the opposite. And then they keep justifying by saying, turnout was low. Yeah. More
New York City Democrats outnumber Republicans 6-1.
Here's one that I was a part of, witnessing and experiencing.
Yeah.
The the mayor that I dealt with, who, besides the fact that he was related to George Bernard Shaw, which is a strike against him anyways, that's not actually even a joke. And his name was Shaw. He wanted to do a fluff piece interview with the little native kid. He thought it was going to help his media campaign. I wasn't supposed to show up at 12 years old and submarine him like Murphy Brown with proof of him embezzling money and using city resources for his own yard. Apparently, I got kicked out of this very fast and it got deleted. But also, there was a lot of evidence that came out multiple times that he had committed massive voter fraud and dead were voting for him. And this wasn't a Democrat. This was a Republican, mind you.
Well, Ohio.
This guy was such a piece of work that they literally banned him for life from Iowa for something he did at a state fair.
I know.
I do. I'm not saying that Democrats are the only ones to cheat, right?
Yeah.
They got it to a fine art nowadays.
I'm not saying
had their day too.
I'm just saying. So I've seen this kind of corruption firsthand.
Yeah.
But you get people from New York, Detroit, Chicago, LA, and they all got the same stories, that 1 million ballots go into Union Hall and 1 billion filled ballots come out of Union Hall. And there's only 100,000 people in the Union,
I will say this much about vote and caucus and elections in Iowa.
Yeah.
As much as I have problems with Iowa for a lot of things, when it came to counting the votes during the caucuses to see who got nomination, every time you counted them, you had to have at least one person in the counting party that represented every single candidate, and everyone had to reconfirm everyone else's numbers. So you had to count all of them repeatedly. And this was also what they did when counting the actual ballots for president, too.
Yeah.
So this was not done by some machine deciding or a group on one side or something. You had to sign off verifying that you proved this was legitimate with your opposition.
And it didn't take 2 weeks to get a result, did it?
No, it was a couple hours.
Yeah.
But that's the problem.
Out west, though, we won't know for another 2 or 3 weeks. Bullshit. Florida's got it in now. They got 3 times the population. Count your fucking ballots.
India with more people could do it in 3 days.
Yeah.
That's true. And to be honest, New York City has been they've been being brainwashed by the news media, believing in all those rumors, believing that, Republicans bad. And
again,
I know
New York has been a lost cause for the most part for decades, really.
But no, I'm just saying.
Thing. Otherwise, it's been, it's been.
I'm talking about the New York City situation, because New York City is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
it has been for decades.
I don't mind New York State separate from the city, so the votes will be better. You know what I mean?
Upstate New York, I'd love to say, tell New York to go fuck itself.
Yeah.
The problem with separate the rural areas from these big cities and make them separate states that people talk about is the way that votes are distributed would still give almost the entire votes for that area to that city. Yeah. So it wouldn't actually change much, but it would make a lot of things more complicated at the same level and make it harder in some ways. We've got to find a solution to fix the washout that these areas are doing. Yeah. But I don't think that would actually work.
State level electoral college is really the way to go, I think.
That's true.
So get rid of this winner take all thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have such an issue with winner take all. I do not believe that somebody can get 3 votes more in a state of millions of people and automatically every person in that state now counts for that person. I think that's bullshit.
But to be honest,
look at New York. The only places that voted Democrat was like New York City itself, and then up in somewhere
Albany
around there.
So
the rest of the entire state's a sea of red. Who gets all those votes?
There's something that should be done, but it has to be done carefully, and they have to look at all equations because you have to make sure that neither side is going to be able to rig this against the other one for power.
Yeah.
That's true. But when I'm not saying it was in New York, I forget where it was, but one state came out at 115% of the population voting, and nobody batted an eyelid.
Washington State's done that a few times.
Yeah, but it wasn't the only one. I remember New York came a little over, but most states never get 100% voting. You know,
you don't get 100% voting in dictatorship, so will always be somebody who isn't there who doesn't vote.
They always cheat it back about 5% to look good. You know. Yeah, but that seems like a total. It's like,
but when most states are coming,
but
when most states are coming in between 30 and 50% voter turnout, and then suddenly you get the 5 biggest states all 100 over 90, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
it's true.
And this claim that all these people of these certain races always vote this certain way, there's no evidence of that. Most states do not gather that information. Bob, have you ever had to put your age, name, or race on a ballot to cast it?
Nope.
So how the hell are they gathering all this information?
Yeah.
How the hell are they claiming they can look up people's voting records? It's bullshit.
They make it up.
The most they can do is how you're registered. And if you're
but you notice the only community with organizers are black.
Yeah.
You don't see Asian organizers. You don't see white organizers.
Oh, there's a few. Most of them are, but you get a few.
No, but I mean see. You never see them on TV. You always have Al Sharpton and other community organizers, and they're always black.
Well, for a while in the U.S., you were getting Russell Means, but that was in his racist period, so that wasn't very good either.
Yeah. And he got the acting bug, and
Well, Russell Means actually did grow up quite a bit, and actually, my mom was one of the victims of the racial tensions he helped stir up.
Mm-hmm.
She also got to talk to him, and they actually made peace with each other when she talked to him. So he did grow up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we need to pivot a little bit here. Just a brief one with the passing of Professor Tom Lehrer. That went out from Weird Al. He finally passed on. So I posted a few times. Posted Masochism Tango and Poisoning Pigeons in the Park. So
I did miss that one because I was off helping take care of people the other night. That one guts me.
Yeah, I forwarded that on to you on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't check
one thing he did. The one thing he did a few years ago though was he made all his music public domain. So
yeah, I remember that.
Hey, I'm in my 90s. I don't care. Have it. So I made my money. But he was up in his 90s. How old was he?
97.
Okay.
Damn.
Oh God, losing him though.
Yeah.
That hurts. Oh.
It's a Hulk Hogan, or what?
Hulk Hogan, I feel for him. I was, other than a couple of things, I was never into his stuff, so I'm not emotionally tied to it like others, but I still feel for him and his fans, you know?
Yeah.
But to be honest, Hulk Hogan did change wrestling to make it great, which isn't the important thing we had to know about.
He was a factor in it, yeah. It was the whole thing.
I also don't like that whole style of, I don't like that being called wrestling, so that's a whole other issue, but I don't blame him for that.
Well,
doesn't mean I dislike people from it. It's just I don't believe that should ever be called wrestling. That's a whole other discussion.
What gets me is on Fox and Friends they were talking about, and one of the guys he started, his heroes, was I forget one wrestler maybe. Oh, it was Dusty Rhodes, and Billy Graham. That's like he's not talking the Preacher. That's not what Hulk was talking about. He wasn't talking about the Preacher Billy Graham. He's talking about superstar Billy Graham. The prototypical blonde-haired asshole from Southern California wrestler, okay? He's what the feather boas and the whole thing. He's kind of like the prototype that him and Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, and fuck that asshole.
Yeah.
But until
Jesse's gone down a very strange path.
No, Jesse, when you sue a widow, to take money from veterans associations because you're butthurt about a story in a book that didn't even name you, fuck you, rotten hell, piece of shit asshole.
Yeah, I've heard he's a bit of a hypersensitive.
He's also gone.
He sued the survivor of the widow of the lone survivor for $11 million that was supposed to go to veterans charities because he was offended because the guy admitted he got in a fight with him. Literally.
Geez, someone got in a fight with Jesse Ventura. That's a new one.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Fuck him.
He started going down some conspiracy theory thing.
He's what I wouldn't shed a tear for if something happened to him. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, don't wish harm or anything.
I'm not wishing harm, and that's why I phrased it very carefully.
No, she's saying that she doesn't shed a tear.
On the unlikely chance something does happen, though, it's like we're not going to be really crying a lot of tears here.
I have no sympathy for somebody who goes after A, a widow, B, an orphan, C, charity for fucking veterans in need. Just because his ego was hurt.
Reminds me of the lawsuits about that recently destroyed the in California they wanted to build rebuild some shelter or something. They got sued because they didn't have the right mix of race or something in the charity board, and they got sued by the state.
This is why nothing happens out there anymore. You got to have all these other things. What? How about just build the fucking thing?
What's the difference between California and China?
California, just build it. Oh, China will just build it.
At least China can finish a high-speed rail.
Yeah,
it's true.
That's the totally different. The one-child policy, but okay.
Yeah.
No, that's gone. That
it's gone. It still killed It still killed how many children?
Yeah.
It's gone now, but it still killed a lot of people, so we can't ignore it.
No, we can't. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
China's got a lot of problems. I'm just saying the main difference between China and California, at least China can finish a high-speed rail line.
They want to build a dam, they'll build a dam. I'm not going to worry about some fucking snail darter. Okay.
How many species has China wiped out now?
Yeah,
we don't know.
That's not a plus to me.
No, but I'm just saying they have, know.
There's a common sense in the middle where, we're not going to destroy an entire ecosystem for cities and people for an animal that's not even supposed to be in the location it's in.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we also shouldn't be making things extinct because we're thinking we're more important than the ecosystem either.
No, but both of them are extremist, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, can we just have some common sense? It's like, okay, you guys want to have solar farms. How about instead of putting all these solar patches over the swamplands and the mountains and the areas where the animals need to live, you fucking dome parking lots and put them over those.
Yeah. It's a good idea. The parking lots has nothing much going on.
In Australia, I campaign to have the cars
and put them on the top of buildings, sort of thing.
No, I campaigned to have them put them on parking lots. Guess what they said? The insurance liability if something goes wrong.
They're not going to go wrong any worse than any form of dome.
No, they're talking about all the idiots who climb on these things.
Yeah, that already exists for regular parking garages. That's not a fucking thing. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but electrocution apparently gets a bigger insurance payout, so...
Yeah.
It's really not that
electrocuted from the solar panels.
It's really not easy.
Because the only thing to climb up, they pull on the cable. They use the cables to,
most cables are not accessible in most solar systems.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying.
I'm not telling you that's not what they claimed. I'm saying it's a dumbass claim that makes no sense if you know much about the technology.
That's true, but I'm just saying they're excuses, not their,
Like they got a solar farm out where there used to be a drive-in theater out of about 6 and Kipling.
It's like, again, I did technical writing. My husband worked in designing solar systems.
Just think of all these shopping centers that wouldn't have closed down if they had solar panels on their roofs.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely wouldn't have fixed a lot of the issues, but again, it's like they talk about they want to create solar roadways, but they won't create solar parking garages. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
The roadway is more of a hazard. That's going to stun animals. It's going to stun other stuff. Also, by the way, we know that most animals will not get into a roadway if you have fences so high and only break the fences when you have the on-off ramps. You'll still have an occasional accident with an animal in there, but it's far and few between, and it's less likely to be dangerous. Why do we build fences along every interstate anyways? Why don't we just build them a fucking foot and a half higher and actually block the animals?
Yeah, that's true.
Never, long time ago.
Because solutions don't get elections.
Put in little, underpasses for the animals to get to one side to the other, or bridges.
No, those underpasses turned out to be a haven for predators. Coyotes would wait at the other end in packs.
Depends on where they were built. The ones that they built under the roads in the Black Hills, even though there's a lot of coyotes and predators, generally work because they're connecting water to water, and the coyotes and the badgers and stuff don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But in some places,
you've got to have somebody with common sense.
For alligators and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to have a lot of them so that they can't pack around any one. If you have too few, they pack around them. If you have too many, that's fine. There's, But the main problem is,
I need to get a refill.
Solutions don't win elections.
That is true.
No, they got to get the problem going so they can keep being reelected.
Look at racism. I'm just saying, without racism, there's a lot. I'm not saying which party, but there's a lot of elections, particularly in California, that wouldn't be won if somebody just could stand up and said, my opponent's a racist, and the people would clap,
Yeah, and the word racist becoming irrelevant.
I could go one day without somebody on either side saying some stupid racist thing about natives that isn't true, or either sitting there trying to cry land back like that actually is a solution, because it's not, or sitting there saying manifest destiny and touting the anti-native shit. It's like, can both of you sides just shut the fuck up, because none of this shit helps. We don't want everyone to be kicked out of their homes and all this shit. That's nothing. Nobody native is pushing for that shit. And manifest destiny was genocide. It was racist. It was stealing. Whether or not it was the normal of society doesn't mean we should say it was okay. But calling it out doesn't mean that we sit there and act like it makes everything okay today either. It's like we need to stand up about the murdered, missing Indigenous women and all that shit as well. It's like common sense is not on the extremes.
Well, shut up with my iced tea. No. Yes, I'm going to unpack this shit here.
Bob.
Don't tell me what didn't show up.
Part of what drives me nuts is that I actually really do believe most of life would be better in the center.
That's true. I agree on that.
Well, I've had this discussion on a number of channels where we basically say that if you take out the fanaticism in both parties, you pretty much have nothing to run on. But you do have a common sense. That's very nice.
Yay.
But if you had politicians who could run on common sense, the problem is that now I think again it comes down to who turns out for elections, and the thing I think is the majority who turn out for elections are the unemployed fanatics.
This is where I think what's disheartening is they're not enforcing the rules that businesses are supposed to be required to give people time off to go vote. They're not enforcing that, and they should be enforcing that. But also just that they're not also saying, let's stop incentivizing the vote. Let's stop telling people, get out and vote and go out and vote. Be informed and vote if you have a conscious decision you want to take between the people involved. If you want to vote for somebody because you think they're good looking or ugly, shut the fuck up and don't vote.
Yeah, I've heard.
If you want to vote for somebody because of the label on their whatever, if you want to vote for people because of their party and you don't actually want to look up their policies, shut the fuck up and don't vote.
Yeah, if you don't really care that much, then you're probably better off not voting.
Yeah, that's the problem. I keep hearing about people saying how they've got to vote a certain way to protect certain rights. It's like,
yeah, they need to do their research.
I forget which state it was. A Republican won by simply saying, I'm not going to touch any. Here's my policies. and I'm not touching the rest. And they could, they tried to hit him with abortion and all these things, and he won because he just kept saying, "I told you, my position is everything that's passed ain't changing. Right? This is what we're doing with the state budget."
Yeah.
Something Hannity would do a thing on his radio show. He might still do it, but do a sort of have somebody do a man on the street thing. Meeting the people who cancel out your well-informed vote. Talking to just total morons. I didn't know what the fuck.
Yeah. Other than Hannity, I don't get. Hannity has just become more and more fanatical. He's like, it's like him and Lindsey Graham are on the same. There
was a reason I couldn't get into Hannity and Combs because I thought they were both extremist assholes watching it.
Who's the other one? Sorry,
Hannity and Combs. That was back with the liberal versus conservative show they used to do.
Okay.
Yeah. And to be honestly clear, people need to stop fighting over ideology and just realize, look, there's more things in life.
Well, it takes two to tango, and then it's like
to some degree, I think when it comes to there's more to life. Some of these policies both sides are doing are killing people. So
that's why it's like we can't just unilaterally
ignore it. But also, I get really tired of people on either side going, "Well, my side's better." It's like, if you look at what my people have been through, both of your sides suck nut sacks. Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
None of you treat us well. So why would I like you? Why would I support you? Please give me a reason.
Yeah.
And when I say that,
it's like the American version of looking at Tories or labor. You both fucked up, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a recent post. I forget which. I think it was UK Glory, and they were saying that the problems of the last 20 years is, and they're not saying who, but basically. Gordon Brown's immigration minister would basically run on the promises of cutting immigration and then
not do it.
But it actually started with Major.
Yeah.
And that's true. But Major opened up to Eastern European migrants. He didn't. It was Labour, Brown, who opened it up to the Middle East, and then following after that was Africa. Following after that was India. They all, every new government has just opened up to more and more so-called refugees, even though they pass through 9 countries. And
this is why most interviews with Nigel Farage that when you become prime minister, not if, when. Because it's pretty serious. Labour's getting wiped out. Tories are not coming back.
Here's the problem that most British have. You have Indian Independence Day celebrated in Britain, and they're trying to, and it's like, really? Go home.
Yeah.
You want independence?
So much, go the fuck home. Yeah.
Yeah. They keep telling us how much in danger they are, and yet half of them fly home every year. Well, they're yanked with your visa, mate.
So a very long list of number of Muslim mayors in Britain. It's like.
Anyway, we were starting to go into actual pop culture.
Yeah, trying to deep.
Yeah, and besides that
stuff that's come out.
And besides that, well, we got to be aware about one thing. We had to pay attention to what goes on our entertainment, because the thing is, look.
Anyway, we are shifting here. So,
all right.
For instance, the trailer for Star Trek Starfleet Academy dropped. Rob Burnett did a reaction thing and said, it's not even Star Trek 902, it's Star Trek Dawson's Creek.
Yeah,
really?
Fucking shoot me in the
I'm
head.
already planning on doing a thing. Just as soon as I can get the Paula Cole song downloaded, it's like, here we go.
A song that was honestly too good for that damn show.
Yeah.
I saw.
What's really offensive about the fact that they used that song for that show, actually, is that song was actually written about the struggles of spouses waiting for husbands to come home from war.
Instead of with teenage angst,
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, the big long elbow names on the walls. Like, they just pulled names. That makes no sense. Why is he listed as a lieutenant? Okay. Why is that? We saw this person promoted. What the fuck is you're just pulling names out of a hat? It's like, what the fuck is this supposed to prove?
Yeah.
Oh, it's James C. Kirk Pavilion. Oh, you remembered the name. How nice. Yeah.
I saw a thing the other day about what would fix Trek, and they say a new a hiatus followed by a new Kirk, a new Spock.
No. In fact,
no,
the
they're
next
just
thing.
saying.
Cleva Goldman wants to you keep on going with more. You're with Kirk on the Enterprise, and I said, start up.
That's the whole problem.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
The whole problem is trying to recreate Kirk, Uhura, and all these old classics. How about we leave the fucking classics alone because they were better than this shit, and we move on. And let's stop calling anything Trek. Let Trek die a dignified death and start something new based on it if you like it.
Yeah.
Without putting the Trek name on it.
No, canon is fluid. No, canon is not fluid. If it isn't, it's not canon. It's just
Bingo.
Canon was set when Enterprise ended. That's it. There's your canon.
And here's the
thing:
you
can add a few things to it and flesh out some details, but no, you don't. You can't change it.
Is it true they regret canceling Enterprise, or was that just fan?
I don't know. I never liked that show.
I think there was early on some regret of canceling Star Trek originally in '69.
Yeah, the original series deserved to go so much further than it did, honestly.
But that was
an urban legend.
That was the studio being taken over, wasn't it?
It was a combination of things.
There was a lot of things that played a part in it.
There's a lot of stuff regarding the run of the original series that really has never been brought to light properly.
And let's also talk about, you have all these people campaigning to save the show, and then you give them the reward of the next episode being Spock's fucking brain.
Yeah, that was,
That didn't help.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of before the letter writing campaign ever started, though. That
I'm just saying,
it always was a struggle to keep that show on the air.
Yeah, but let me flesh out this here. About midway through the second season is when the sale happened, when Lucy sold out to Gulf Western, and they smashed Paramount and Desilu together into Paramount Studios. And it's right about that time that they made the deal with Kaiser Broadcasting for the syndication deal.
Yeah.
So at that point, they're going the third season regardless at that point. So the letter writing campaign really didn't make a hell of beans. The difference was.
But I heard
it's great that it happened, but it didn't affect anything.
But I heard that when a show goes to syndication, most of the time it's prelude to cancellation.
It's basically, it's kind of a it's like, no, we've got our syndication deal. We got the thing, so we don't need to produce anymore.
Yeah.
We can get out of the fight. It's going to be pure profit from here on out. Pay them some residuals for everything, but we're no longer producing the show. We can rent these stages out to somebody else. And so it's like, we've done it. We're done. So that if it became a big hit, in that Friday slot, which was entirely possible, really. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a death slot. Then, they could, we can keep it going and do it and pad out and things.
Yeah.
But as it was,
what I was trying to say, it's it's not always guaranteed that. It's a little more complicated than that. In the 60s, it was a more commonly death nail thing than it became by my childhood, but there were shows that would go to syndication, but they would continue because they were popular in both. But it basically, once it was in syndication, people weren't as afraid to miss one because they would see it again.
Hold on.
Which is where the numbers would dip more in the normal slots. Yes. So it kind of played this weird double-edged sword where you had to be basically top of the top of the top to go to syndication and not lose numbers. And also, a lot of shows back then, it wasn't uncommon to only have 1 or 2 or 3 seasons. And still be a big show with a lot of episodes. See Munsters, Addams Family, F Troop, Star Trek, Batman. It wasn't uncommon then.
Well, back when you did have these syndication back again, the show's still on the air. That's when you had things like old Bonanza episodes being marketed as Ponderosa, or old Gunsmoke episodes as Marshall Dillon. They put a different title on it, not confuse people.
Yes, there was also a number of directors who were under non-compete clauses. So once the show went to syndication, they were actually not allowed to produce any more material for a certain amount of time.
That did happen under a few contracts, depending on how they worded it. Yes.
Yeah. But producers as well were told, you had to take a hiatus. If you syndicated your show, less now, but back then they had less airtime, so they wanted to actually reduce the number of competing shows to actually make the syndication deals worth it.
Maybe kind of like, when Gene Coon left Star Trek.
Yeah.
No, it was not because they had a falling out with Gene Roddenberry.
That was a myth.
It was everyone. Yeah, and it's, oh god, everyone was fucking exhausted, and he had a nervous breakdown.
Yeah,
but he, again, he was still obligated to write 5 more scripts for Star Trek for the 3rd season, and so they're all under the pseudonym of Lee Cronin.
Yeah,
because he was under contract at Universal by that point, so he wasn't allowed to do anything under his own name.
Yes.
So,
and by the way, I do have a problem with some of the contracts in that era. I understand to a degree why you contracted with studios, because it got rid of a lot of this overlap that people have and these issues with studios warring with each other to keep people and stuff like that. But I don't like that they could legally own everything you do for years and force you to do roles you didn't approve of.
And it wasn't just studios, it was copyright in general. Once you bought rights, basically.
Well, I'm referring to a very specific thing.
It was a business gamble on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
Where
I'm referring to a very specific thing here. One sec.
Yeah.
Because I'm not referring to, because copyright had a lot of issues back then, but with this contracts with studios specifically, most of the time back then, people signed contracts specifically with the studio. They had no right to refuse to do any role for any reason after that.
Yeah.
So when people bash on Judy Garland because she did a role that was in blackface, she had no choice. When people make fun of some of the roles that Cary Grant did, going, I thought he was a serious actor. He had no choice. It's why he hated Arsenic and Old Lace. And yes, I love the movie, but I don't think it was right that he was forced to do it or to lose everything.
It wasn't just him. It wasn't just the studios. The unions also forced actors to work at least once a year to keep their union card.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
You had to, so most of them signed contracts because they had no choice. If they didn't have regular work, they didn't have a union card.
Yeah. Well, just the other side of it. You had to be in the union and you had to be on contract in order to get any roles. And then you were destroyed and the studio owned you if you did. Now, let's fast forward to the 90s where, yes, you didn't sign contracts with studios, but you still had to be in the union. You still had to have certain credits where you could get big roles and stuff like that. And the battle that happened with Steven Tyler taking criticism as a parent for casting Liv in the video for Crazy. And people ignore the fact that the reason he did that, the reason he designed the video the way he did, is because she was up for a role that she wanted. She was trying to build her life after getting away from that nutcase of a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, she was required to have a credit within 3 days if she was going to take the other job. Yeah. So he did that last minute to give her a credit so she could get her career started.
It's like all these kids who tried to transition from being child actors to adults because they didn't have enough credits of roles. They couldn't get new roles because and
there were all these people going, well, he's got his daughter playing this basically teenage harlot and she's doing sexual stuff in the video. It's like she was 2021 when she played that part. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
she was up.
And literally, he'd only known her not quite a year at that point. She showed up at his door and said, I think you're my father. And he looked at her and said, well, you've got my face. Let's go get tested.
Mm-hmm.
Literally is what they both said he said.
Like, who's your mom? Yeah, okay, it's possible.
He also, by the way,
who's your mom?
One thing that credit to Steven Tyler massively is not just that he was absolutely a stand-up father from the moment he found out he had the kid, but that he actually found the guy that the mom had screwed out of all the money and child support and stuff and paid him back everything with interest.
That part I didn't know, but I did know that. Yeah, I did know that he was ambushed and took it like a man, unlike most people who run for the hills.
I wouldn't call it an ambush when your child finds you.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying
something.
Yeah.
He got in a period when he was starting to own up to what he'd done, because back in the 70s, he was
and still
I would. Yeah, he was a stand-up man through and through it all.
Yeah, he was stand-up. That's what I'm saying. He didn't treat it like an ambush or a
I would say it was an ambush if the mother showed up like that and was doing
it. That's true.
Yeah.
But with the daughter going, I'm trying to find my family. I don't like my mother. I think you're my father.
Yeah.
I kind of see how she felt that way.
And the age of like, I got kids. All right, great.
And the thing is, had a mother not kept the information on her past, she would have never found who her parents were.
Although honestly, I don't know how anyone could question Liv being his daughter. Look at her.
Yeah. Definite resemblance there.
Which is why he looked at her and went, let's go get tested because
let's confirm this.
At least
Yeah.
He didn't take it like a chump either.
I watched this whole interview when all that battle was going on back in the 90s, and him sitting there going, no, it was interesting because I just getting to know my daughter and stuff, and we're doing this video, and we said you got to dance around and just be kind of attractive for the girl and stuff. And she looked at me dancing on one of my videos, went up and did my kicks and my dance better than me. And I don't know if I was intimidated or a proud papa. She literally went up and actually mimicked one of his entire dance routines as the striptease for Alicia. And it literally, she just watched it on video real quick and then went up and did it perfect. And he's like, oh, shit.
Okay, that's not practice? That she just did that? Okay, there's something here.
And I hate the fact that so many talented people get written out of Hollywood so quickly just because they want their favorite, I'm not talking just about John. I'm not just talking about Liz Tyler being pushed out of roles because of.
And I'm saying she almost lost it. What's her father?
Wife, pushing what's his name's wife into roles. There's a lot of that going on. But I'm just talking in general now, like how Mark Hamill was pushed aside for John Boyega, although at first
Mark Hamill's a piece of shit.
Doesn't matter.
He's a good actor. He's a piece of shit, but he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And a lot
still
of that was also Ryan Johnson having a fucking clue. They had a perfect setup there at the end of Force Awakens.
Yes.
Where scenery and then
they had a perfect setup for Mark Hamill to have an apprentice, and they ruined it.
And what does Johnson do? He's like, what the fuck?
John Boyega, of course, assumes that it's racism. No, you got the job because you had the job because you're black. Not excluded.
To some degree.
So many people pushing for him.
To some degree, there was because Disney switched a lot of shit around to basically try to suck up to China for money halfway through writing the shit.
That's
where he got really cut out.
That's within Disney, though. The fan base was all in favor of Finn.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the fan base, and I think he was manipulated on that because he did backpedal some of that when he started talking to fans. But I think he was being manipulated by Disney the entire time.
Yeah.
But
no, it's clear that
again, you're right. If it wasn't
the Chinese
Rose Tico was not accepted by China because apparently she's not pure Chinese.
God.
And she's too large, by the way, for China.
Take it up with them.
Also, by the way, washing Boyega off of the posters because they didn't want a black actor on posters for a movie.
Again,
also, Chinese people being unwilling to accept anybody who's not a size 0 and blasting Rose Tico for being too fat for a Chinese woman. Kelly Marie Tran is actually a very beautiful woman, and I don't agree with all this stuff. But I've never actually seen her
on us
about being bullied off of the internet.
She wasn't.
I've seen other people claim that's what happened to her. I've never seen her say that.
That's the thing. If she had, there would have been screenshots out the wazoo.
But you know what? The problem I have is the way Disney treated her character. Because how do you take a fucking stunning woman like that and write her into a fat potato sack stereotype of Asian women?
Because that's representation to them.
Because
even to make her a bad driver, come on.
Yeah, play to the stereotypes. That's the representation. Yeah.
Yes. I have seen. I put in when I started writing, I actually put in for a script for Batman, the original, the cartoon, right?
Yeah, animated. Yeah.
They have a book, and because I didn't meet any of their tropes, which they won't tell you, it's like But in their original script proposal, they said nothing you do has to be a storyline that they've already done. So I had Batman as a detective trying to track down the original Joker, and they didn't like the idea that
here's
he was
one that I went through, and this is a moment that, oh God, because I was writing more for a while.
Yeah,
I absolutely was, and I was actually, there's things I did publish under pseudonyms, there's other stuff I did, but when I first started trying to write, and I started sending my books to publishers, and that was back high school age in Job Corps. I got letters back from a lot of publishers that compared me to everyone from Poe to Shakespeare and other stuff, and then said, become more modern if you want published.
Yes.
They literally compared me to the greatest writers in history and then said, change or we won't publish you.
Or I get the letters that say, you are not quite what we are looking for. And then they won't tell you what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you have somebody send you a short story with a series of poems? You send a letter back saying that this book was inspiring, it was beautiful, the story was well told, and then list inspirations that you saw in it being Shakespeare, Poe, and Chaucer and stuff, and then go, you need to change your style, it's not modern enough.
Yeah, well, I know what it's like not to appeal to a mass audience.
Dumb it down to the yokels are bad now shit. Nobody can read our stuff. Read that stuff.
How the fuck do you compare somebody to those people and then say, change, please?
Because they have the audacity to lie. They just did not want you because you did not suit their private agendas. Okay, most of these publishers, I'm sorry to break news to everybody out there, but most of these publishers, they're not interested in your book. They're interested in you and the story. You can sell them, but they can sell to the public. The public doesn't buy J.K. Rowling's book because they liked Harry Potter. They felt sorry for J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
I still don't know how that wouldn't have worked anyways. I mean, you got a little native girl from the sticks. They could have easily milked that even then.
Yeah.
But again,
none of
she's
the
a blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
None of the major would touch Joe Rowling anyway. She had to go to Scholastic.
That's
to get
true.
published.
No, Bloomsbury. She got
over here with Scholastic.
They picked it up. No, Scholastic went to her. When she got a Bloomsbury contract, Scholastic is a subsidiary of the company that owns both. Remember, these publishers are all owned in a pyramid scheme.
They are all owned by the same few people. There's so much corruption in them. And also, most of the contracts with them, as of when they rewrote all the copyright stuff during the digital millennial era, has now changed to the point where they say that we can not only correct spelling issues and fix some grammar issues in your book, but we can change the context and what your characters say without your consent.
They also own your material after you die.
Yeah.
That's the problem with most publishing deals this day is do not take one because they own your material.
I remember when I was interviewing Joe Benson at KLOS at the time, and I mentioned he has Uncle Joe's record guides, which are basically his scripts for his show, show he ran on Sundays, the seventh day where he goes through an entire album. And he mentioned how it's his experience, stuff in the publishing make the music industry look legit. It's like,
Have I actually ever showed you any of my poems and stories, David?
I don't remember.
I probably should at some point.
You probably haven't. If you can't remember, you probably haven't.
Well, that doesn't mean much with me. My memory sucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My memory sucks.
So let's just assume I haven't instead of trying to search our memory.
Yes.
Right?
That's right. It makes it easier to assume it didn't happen. But look, I know what it's like because I've been there and I know that these publishers are very personal when it comes to who they publish because it has to be somebody they like. It has to be somebody they get along with. If they're looking for a friend, they're looking because they're looking to exploit you. Okay, they're not looking for somebody smart or clever or well-read. They're looking for somebody to exploit and the lowest common denominator to reach the largest audience. Okay.
Well, that
all this
Stephen
stuff
King's
about
entire
original
career.
material and outstanding work is bullshit. Okay. They want a centaur running women down and boinking them, and that's about it.
As I said, that explains Stephen King's entire career. I mean,
it is. He's a nepo. Okay.
His writing is so fucking boring. How is he so popular?
Because he reaches the lowest common denominator of the fact that when he was writing, there weren't many people writing horror in graphic detail. Or the topics. Man, some of the topics he writes, most of his horror. Look, one thing about Stephen King, the majority of his material is garbage, and most people hate it. He's the guy who just keeps pumping out more.
Yeah, I don't even like Stephen King, to be honest, because like he's like, I like the movies. I don't like when I see it, but the writing is okay. But I don't like the movies. That's the only thing.
The only thing I think he ever wrote decently was Misery, and I think that was made much better by Kathy Bates than the book fucking was.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's weird? One of his most popular works isn't even published under his name, and that's The Running Man.
Yeah.
But even though I got one of his graphic novels they kind of made, but like he didn't like drew it, but he kind of like had people drawing it. He wrote he kind of like wrote the story. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in there with you?
This is slow and methodical.
And Dave
work I'm
and
doing here.
Thank you. Well, I don't really
They're
see
evil, demented, psycho fuzz heads.
Evil, demented, psycho fuzz heads. You want any more? Get your ass in here.
Yeah, I don't know what's
food poisoning.
Hot. You've been bogarting my teeth.
Yeah. Well,
It's my fault.
We're all fighting
the same as mine. Come on.
Yeah.
They didn't even change the color of the label. Look identical. I had to look on the damn. Oh, there we see the zero.
All you have to do is look at the fucking label.
You go in there and take a look at it and tell me, first glance and tell the difference.
Yes.
All you have to do is look for the word zero sugar.
Which is very small on the damn label, asshole. Okay.
But it doesn't mean you can't read it. Or can you read it?
Shut up. Anyway.
Fight me.
Baby girl, I'm trying to work.
Baby girl.
Not exactly by choice. She just climbed up here and laid on my arms while I was beating.
Yeah, baby girl just sort of invaded and was like, no, you're done.
Yeah. So, I think when it comes to Stephen King, again, like, it's probably the fact that he did write a few good books that keeps him around.
Yeah.
He got some movie deals. That's about it.
The thing is,
how the hell did they ever make a movie out of fucking Pet Cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay. Hollywood and Americana. There was once upon a time where Hollywood was on a kick to elevate American authors, particularly contemporary modern authors.
Oh,
so that was probably where he got in. There was once upon a time when Americana was a big deal in Hollywood in the 90s.
Was
Was
Salem's Lot's one of his?
Salem's Lot? I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's stuff that's attributed to him that's not, because he was the editor, not the producer or whatever. Hollywood. Salem's Lot is Stephen King.
Okay, I thought it was early though.
Yeah, it was the second.
Yeah, I think it basically did a vampire version of Peyton's Plate. What?
Can you come help me?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of stuff Stephen King wrote is actually plagiarism that would never get published in the modern era.
Yeah, Christine was originally The Car, done about 10 years earlier.
I remember he claims that all of this stuff is his own ideas from his dreams.
Yeah, he watched a movie, dreamt of it, and then wrote it.
Yeah.
As like, guess
I'm just saying.
What you watch inspires you. I've dreamt whole episodes of Star Trek shows. That didn't exist.
I'm just saying. He's not the only one, though. Just saying, some of the biggest authors in the world is because they can afford the plagiarism lawsuits because most countries, the payout. Remember, these big writers, they may get $20 million book deals a year, but they're paying off. They're paying off editors. They're paying off ghostwriters. They're paying off plagiarism claims. That's why Stephen King's broke. Okay, he may earn $20 million a year, but he sees less than $1 million of that.
Okay, I have to play something for you guys now. Give me just a minute. Because you did this. So now, because of who passed away.
Yeah.
And I will wait till Bob gets to actually fully play it.
I'm actually surprised that they're doing a story accurate. What do you call it? Story accurate Running Man.
This is, by the way, when I laugh at certain things or do certain things. God, I've gotten too used to the other things now. This song, when Bob gets back, you're going on all the plagiarism. I have to play this song, especially since Lehrer just passed, which that one guts me.
That's true.
God, Lehrer passing guts me. That one, oh my God.
Right.
But
somebody actually did you know somebody did their doctoral thesis on all the stuff that Stephen King plagiarized?
Man, that's crazy.
And the thing is, Stephen King has been writing for 40 years, and it's been a tradition of his to basically plagiarize at least once a year. It's like, wow. But some people get away with stuff simply because of the mantra of USA. Chant USA a couple of times and it magically all goes away.
Okay, 20% off on the Harry Potter store special.
Remember, folks, Warner Brothers. What was it? Walter Hamada got fired because he admitted that Warner Brothers lost money on Harry Potter.
Yeah, because of these people were outraged over J.K. Rowling's,
No, he lost his job because he admitted they lost money on the movies.
Oh, the movies kind of sucked. It was okay, but the problem is...
See, the UK passed a law to actually make them disclose the actual budget and the marketing. And when they saw the figures, they gave them the 200. They gave them the they paid $20 billion to have this stuff made. Remember that. The UK government was the one who came up with all the money. Remember, the UK government wanted its own hero. Its own.
The UK government can suck a left nut.
No, they paid for these movies to be made. So they wanted to make sure they got their money's worth, and they didn't.
Look, if I were, let me tell you this. Cute kitty.
Good boy.
Okay,
let me.
We're listening to Lobachevsky because they were talking about plagiarism.
Reminder to YouTube, this is free.
All right, this one here.
Public domain.
Danny Kaye.
It is public domain.
Idol since childbirth. For many years now, Mr. Danny Kaye, who has been my particular idol since childbirth, has been doing a routine about the great Russian director Stanislavski and the secret of success in the acting profession. And I thought it would be interesting to adapt this idea to the field of mathematics. I always like to make explicit the fact that before I went off not too long ago to fight in the trenches, I was a mathematician by profession. I don't like people to get the idea that I have to do this for a living. I mean, it isn't as though I had to do this, I could be making, $3,000 a year just teaching. Be that as it may, some of you may have had occasion to run into mathematicians and to wonder, therefore, how they got that way. Here, in partial explanation, perhaps, is the story of the great Russian mathematician Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky. Who made me the genius I am today? The mathematician that others all quote? Who's the professor that made me that way? The greatest that ever got chalk on his coat. One man deserves the credit, one man deserves the blame, and Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky is his name. Hey, Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky. I am never forget the day I first meet the great Lobachevsky. In one word, he told me secret of success in mathematics. Plagiarize. Plagiarize. Let no one else work but plagiarize. Remember why the good Lord made your eyes. So don't shade your eyes, but plagiarize, plagiarize, plagiarize. Only be sure always to call it, please, research. And ever since I meet this man, my life is not the same. And Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky is his name. Hey, Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky. I'll never forget the day I gave the first original paper to write. It was on analytic and algebraic topology of locally Euclidean metrization of infinitely differentiable Riemannian manifold. Боже мой. This I know, but I'm not. But I think of great Lobachevsky and I get idea. I have a friend in Minsk who has a friend in Pinsk, whose friend in Omsk has friend in Tomsk with friend in Akhmolinsk. His friend in Alexandrovsk has friend in Petropavlovsk, whose friend somehow is solving now the problem in Dnepropetrovsk. And when his work is done, begins the fun. From Dnepropetrovsk to Petropavlovsk, by way of Ilysk and Novorossiysk to Alexandrovsk to Akhmolinsk to Tomsk to Omsk to Pinsk to Minsk, to me the news will run. Yes, to me the news will run. Then I ride by morning and night and afternoon, and pretty soon my name in Dnepropetrovsk is cursed. When he finds out I published first. Who made me a big success and brought me wealth and fame? Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky is his name. Hey, Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky. I will never forget the day my first book is published. Every chapter I stole from somewhere else. Index I copied from old Vladivostok telephone directory. This book was sensational. Правда сожил был король, когда при нем плоха жила. It stinks. But Известия said, я иду куда сансар идет пешком. It stinks. Metro Goldwyn Moskva bought the movie rights for 6 million rubles. Changing title to The Eternal Triangle, with Brigitte Bardot playing part of Hypotenuse. Who deserves the credit and who deserves the blame? Nikolai Ivanovich Lobachevsky is his name. Hey!
And if your name is states, it's not plagiarism when you're famous. It's called inspiration.
Plagiarize. Only please always call it research.
Yes, but it's true. You can look it up. Hollywood and plagiarism was a huge article when the LA Times published it. Millions of writers, I think even Dean Koontz and others, were all happy and hopeful that something would come of it, and of course nothing happened. Disney was forced to pay, but did not pay anywhere near what writers were owed, and basically Bob Iger, for saving Disney so much money, got elevated to the top. But the crooks get rewarded. That's unfortunately, the nature of business. Until you can and pretty much it's the hippies who caused it by saying you can't legislate morality. So.
As me and my mom have pointed out, there's no such thing as a law that isn't legislating morality.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
There is a thing where you don't want to be casting what they would call morality laws, where you're nitpicking what people do in their bedroom as long as it's consenting adults, or try to micromanage people's lives with what you can eat, what you can ingest. You better wear your seatbelt and helmet and shit like that. That's petty shit that should not be government.
Yeah,
But,
the people who protect Disney and their copyright plagiarism, their copyrights and all this stuff, and will go off on a tangent and say, "My body, my choice," until it's the jab, and then you say, "You got no choice, take it because of my safety." It's so hypocritical that you're right. The government shouldn't be involved, but the hypocrites do get involved and do get the government to enforce stuff that should be considered morality laws. But there's no morality in the law, and I'm getting to the point. The point of the argument is when the law's applied, it's not done equally. Whether it's copyright or you can sue a major corporation for millions in damages and never see a cent because they can sit there and appeal and appeal and appeal because the appeals are cheaper than the payout.
Somebody tell me why the gnome sent me an image when we were messaging the other night of some freaking Christmas elf gnome mooning me.
No idea.
Oh.
I think my friends need therapy. Maybe that's why my friends with me.
Yeah.
Speaking of therapy, what do you think about what do you think of all the people bleating about Colbert getting fired? You think they will?
They don't quite know how things work. And plus,
no.
Well, did you see what South Park just did? And they they're renewed for about over $1 billion over the contract. Their cost.
How about? I don't care if somebody's on the hard left or right or in the middle. If they were hired to do a job, let them fucking do it and leave them the fuck alone as long as they're not committing crimes.
Yeah, if they're losing your company $40 million a year, guess what? You're going to get fired.
Yeah, that's it. The company's choices should be financial only. Let's stop nitpicking people's speech and belief.
Well, that's what Sundance said. They put the cards on the table and says, "Look, South Park's making us money. All these shows, except for these few, are making us money." Yeah. And they said they only had to cut a few shows to return Paramount to profitability. So, it makes sense.
The fact that it's that profitable does never made sense to me, but that's a different rant.
Yeah.
No, but they wasn't just cutting the number of shows to make the show company profitable. It was also getting rid of the bloated executive panel.
And some dead weight.
Yeah, lots of dead weight. And I think that's why Colbert is really upset because I think he was one of those dead weight, and he knew it all along.
He was never fucking funny.
No, he was given up. It's like what Letterman built up from 93. They produced and created it because CBS Late Night before 93 was nothing.
Yes.
They created that specifically for Letterman, and he was beating the Tonight Show at the time.
Yeah, he took over the Southern which was lying in ruins and built it up. And he specifically just said to Colbert on his way out, "Please don't fuck it up."
Yeah.
And Colbert said, "Don't worry."
And a lot of people are saying, you should have given it to Ferguson. Okay.
Well, Ferguson had a tryout, and he didn't bring up and for some reason, Colbert got better numbers on the ratings. I don't know how that worked.
He was already carried from the
Colbert had
Show
a lot of suck-ups at that time, not because he was actually talented.
And it was carried out from the Daily Show shit and the Colbert Report. And I think Ferguson also, he tried to quit before and doing the late nights, and they definitely gave him the Bear Studio. Okay, fine.
Also, the Daily Show was always highly overrated shit, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Ferguson had a shot before Colbert, and I'm specifically saying I don't know about Colbert's other shows. I'm specifically saying I only heard that he got the show because he scored higher in the right demographics, and that Ferguson was kept on for a few more years only because of his contract.
I think we need to lose this whole demographics media anyways, where it's like if you can win the young folks, you win, but we don't want old folks. It's like, can we just fucking get rid of that and just say if you get the numbers, you get the fucking numbers. Who cares who they are?
True. That's true.
But that's because TV has a skewed value on advertising. If you get more numbers in the premium advertising range, you could charge higher for ads.
And let me tell you
another.
And what we know so far, And what we know so far, I could say these people who are wasting to get young people to vote, it's also, let's say this. Have you seen the meme that like these politicians using our taxpayer money to advertise while they're not doing any proper work?
Yeah.
That's
It's
how
like-
it happens.
it's the
That's what campaigns are called. I mean,
Yeah.
And I also
no,
urge
but
you
I'm
to
not
track
talking
down
about
the movie
political
Wild
here.
in
I'm
the
not
Streets.
talking
It's on
political
YouTube.
here, Zach. One sec. I'm not talking political here. I'm talking about just this here sheer, oh, well, we need people in this demographic to vote. What? The people you try to advertise to are not the fucking people with money. They're trying to advertise to these teenagers, hoping they'll make the parents buy stuff. Why not just fucking advertise to the parents? How much it might be better if you did this shit and quit giving into all the crap your whiny good old brats want. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking in front of the Tom Lehrer thing here.
And the thing is, like,
Werner von Braun, we all go together when we go. Poison Pitches Park, Vatican Rag.
Vatican,
okay.
And the thing is, like, kids shouldn't be prone to advertisement. And the thing is, we know the whole censorship situation happened when, when Saturday morning cartoons has been removed for educational shows.
Which is why you had crap propaganda like Captain Planet.
Oh yeah, that was straight up propaganda. I always hated that fucking show.
I like the show, but I don't like what you do after the
It was the whole premise of the show.
I hated the Daily Show. I hated Captain Planet. I hated Bill Nye. Remember, I have the reputation of hating everything.
That's true. That's why I don't like the after credits. That's the only thing.
Fiddle with your rosaries, bow your head with great respect, and genuflect, 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 and do whatever steps you want if you have cleared them with the pontiff. Everybody say his own, Kyrie eleison, doing the Vatican rag. Get in line in that processional, step into that small confessional. They're the guy who's got religion. I'll tell you if your sin's original. If it is, try playing it safer. Drink the wine and chew the wafer. 2, 4, 6, 8. Time to transubstantiate. So get down upon your knees, fiddle with your rosaries, bow your head with great respect, and genuflect, genuflect, genuflect. Make a cross on your abdomen. When in Rome, do like a Roman. Ave Maria, gee, it's good to see you. Getting ecstatic and sort of dramatic and doing the Vatican rag.
Oh my God.
Yes, that's weird.
The fantastic. Sorry.
I was going to remember.
I just said
late Tom Lehrer.
They're comparing Fantastic Four 2015 to Fantastic Four 25. Fantastic Four, they didn't actually have a 2015 opening gross, but the total gross was 167 million on a budget 120, critically panned. Fantastic Four First Steps, opening day 23 million, projected only 100 to 110 million.
Yeah, it's not going to beat Superman. I think that can be attributed to people are tired of
but imagine not beating your beating your previous movie is often common, but a previous movie with a lower budget. This one has a budget of what? A budget of 220 million or something, whereas the original only had 120 million. Fantastic Four First Steps is a budget of over 200 million. That's the only thing known. They don't know the exact number. But that means you have to do twice as much to still be a flop. You know, you have to do. Yeah, they can do as good as the original and still be a flop. They have to do. Oh man! But again,
here we go.
We see the thing that California. Isn't it amazing that as they announce, it's amazing. Isn't it an amazing coincidence that as Disney's got another flop on their hands, California's increasing the amount of movie incentives? But sure, let's all complain about certain tax cuts. Yet California's tax cut to Hollywood is much bigger. But of course, it's selective, isn't it? And I don't. Why are people
going back to politics?
No, I'm just
really
wondering,
trying to have some fun here.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why people are so worried about subsidies to Hollywood being cut. I can get why George Clooney wants Hollywood subsidies to stay, because he wouldn't be a billionaire otherwise, right?
Speaking of which,
He'd have to...
another overrated piece of shit, but if you ever want to watch him suffer, watch the movies One Fine Day and Intolerable Cruelty. He suffers like a bitch through both of them.
Let him... he suffers every day. Look at how his face drops whenever his wife enters the room.
You mean, Mr. I was never on any sitcoms. Literally was in Roseanne.
Yeah.
Just to keep his SAG card. He was so desperate to keep his SAG card. He did so many uncredited roles, it wasn't funny.
He wasn't uncredited in Roseanne. He literally played a part for multiple episodes that was major for a season.
I'm talking about other roles he also did.
Mm-hmm.
He went through a rough period for like a decade before he did Batman.
I have very little empathy for Clooney.
Everybody says he's a great porn actor.
Okay, let's...
Ew, I don't want to think of him that way. I don't think he's attractive. I think he's overrated and ugly.
That's
true, but he's not a talented
What is it?
actor.
All of these guys that are supposedly the hottest men are all like boring as fuck, vanilla toast.
Nepotism. His parents were
Well,
big
speaking
producers.
of bombs, what is it that makes America the world's greatest nuclear power? And what is it that will make it possible for us to spend $20,000 million of our taxpayers' money to put some idiot on the moon? Well, it was the great, enormous superiority of American technology, of course, as provided by our great American scientists, such as Dr. Werner von Braun.
Yeah.
No adults on new bras.
Gather round while I sing you of Werner von Braun, a man whose allegiance is ruled by expedience. Call him a Nazi, he won't even frown. Nazi schmatzi, says Werner von Braun. Don't say that he's hypocritical, say rather that he's apolitical. Once the rockets are up, who cares where they come down? That's not my department, says Werner von Braun. Some have harsh words for this man of renown, but some think our attitude should be one of gratitude, like the widows and cripples in old London town, who owe their large pensions to Werner von Braun. You too may be a big hero once you've learned to count backwards to zero. In German or English, I know how to count down. And I'm learning Chinese, says Werner von Braun.
Okay, I have one I need to play.
Okay.
Just let me get it in place here.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing me, you should know which one it'll be too, honestly.
Mexicans and Tango?
No, there's a different one I quote quite a bit.
Ah.
Oh, we do have to do smut while we're at it.
I'll get Mexican and Tango playing over here.
Be prepared. That's the Boy Scouts marching song. Be prepared. As through life you march along, be prepared to hold your liquor pretty well. Don't write naughty words on walls if you can't spell. Be prepared to hide that pack of cigarettes. Don't make a book if you cannot cover bets. Keep those reefers hidden where you're sure that they will not be found. And be careful not to smoke them when the scoutmaster's around, for he only will insist that they be shared. Prepared. Be prepared. That's the Boy Scout's solemn creed. Be prepared.
and be clean in word and deed. Don't solicit for your sister, that's not nice, unless you get a good percentage of her price. Be prepared and be careful not to do your good deeds when there's no one watching you. If you're looking for adventure of a new and different kind, and you come across a Girl Scout who is similarly inclined, don't be nervous, don't be flustered, don't be scared. Be prepared.
All right. I don't know. Me, I kind of like that one.
In 97, he was asked why he stopped, and he says, I used to be funny, now I just get mad. And he returned to teaching, by the way, as a mathematician.
Oh.
He didn't say what instant. It was an instant that stopped him making music, and that happens to people.
Yeah, well, he didn't quite a catalog.
He also said he felt like he'd written everything he was supposed to write.
Yeah. Much more for the touch of your whips, dear. You can raise well.
It's true. Because
as we dance to the masochism tango. Say our love is a flame, not an ember. Say it's me that you want to dismember. Blacken my eye, set fire to my tie as we dance to the masochism tango. At your command, before you here I stand. My heart is in my hand, yes. It's here that I must be. My heart entreats. Just hear those savage beats, and go put on your cleats, and come and trample me. Your heart is hard as stone or mahogany. That's why I'm in such exquisite agony.
This man was a big inspiration for both me and Bob.
Which is why I perspire when we tango. You caught my nose in your left castanet glove. I can feel the pain yet. Every time I hear drums, and I envy the rose that you held in your teeth. Love, with the thorns underneath, love, sticking into your gums. Your eyes cast a spell that bewitches. The last time I needed 20 stitches to sew up the gap you made with your laugh as we dance to the masochism tango. Bash in my brain and make me scream with pain and kick me once
I sang this song with Mom when we streamed together.
I know too well I'm underneath your spell. So darling, if you smell something burning, it's my heart. Take your cigarette from its holder and burn your initials in my shoulder. Fracture my spine and swear that you're mine as we dance to the masochism tango.
I have it in place. And that probably will be towards the end of what I can do tonight. Still feeling sick, but
yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something about pornography, or as we call it in the United States, smut. There have been many cases in the American courts recently about this very problem. The United States Supreme Court, for example, has decided that a book or a film can be banned if it arouses the prurient interests of the average person. Now, prurient, I looked that up. It means having itching, morbid, or lewd and lascivious desires. All of us here tonight. But I disagree with this principle because I really enjoy having my prurient interests aroused. And in fact, there's only one thing I enjoy more than having them aroused, and that is having them gratified. So, as I say, I'm opposed to this, but we have marches now for peace and marches for civil rights. So I thought I would have a march for smut. Smut! Give me smut and nothing but a dirty novel I can't shut if it's uncut and unsut. I've never quibbled. If it was ribbled, I would devour where others merely nibbled. As the judge remarked the day that he acquitted my Aunt Hortense, to be smut, it must be utterly without redeeming social importance. Poor! No graphic pictures
true.
I adore. Indecent magazines galore. I like them more if they're hardcore. Bring on the obscene movies, magazines, murals, newspapers, postcards, neckties, samplers, stained glass windows, tattoos, anything. More, I'm still not satisfied. Stories of tortures used by debauchers, lurid, licentious, and vile. Make me smile.
Oh, yes.
Novels that pander to my taste for candor. Give me a pleasure sublime. Let's face it, I love slime. All books can be indecent books, though recent books are bolder. For filth, I'm glad to say, is in the mind of the beholder. When correctly viewed, everything is new. I can tell you things about Peter Pan and the Wizard of Oz. There's a dirty old man.
Yeah.
I thrill to any book like Fanny Hill, and I suppose I always will, if it is swill and really filthy. Who needs a hobby like tennis or philately? I've got a hobby, rereading Lady Chatterley. But now they're trying to take it all away from us unless we take a stand, and hand in hand we fight for freedom of the press. In other words, smart, I love it. The adventures of a slut. Oh, I'm a market they can't glut. I don't know what compares with smut. Hip, hip, hooray, let's hear it for the Supreme Court. Don't let them take it away.
What a timely song.
Yeah. Link me that video, because I might gonna use that for obvious reasons, since I want to tell people about how censorship is bad, and this song makes sense of what goes on here, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that song's becoming more and more relevant.
It's they're timeless. Yeah.
It's in the private chat, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hate
Think
to.
about Peter Pan and the Wizard of Oz. There's a dirty old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Not
be
to toot my
basic.
own horn. I did a video.
Yeah, so basically this might be a good rep to tell a lot of people how it is, you know.
Well, I think if we're gonna wrap up here, might as well wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
And
also
the thing is, look, people need to pay attention to everything. They need to stop fighting against each other over ideologies or like useless meanings, you know, the whole
well,
deal.
again, there are signs. The world is healing. It's going to be painful. It's going to be drawn out, but things are turning around here and there. You know?
Yeah.
It's going to be weird, but it's going to you're going to find out why the old Chinese phrase "May you live in interesting times" is considered a curse. Okay?
Yeah. Hopefully things will be good.
Sorry, I glitched. All I did was post a link to my latest video on it, and boom! It's I did I've been following this. It's getting weird. Apparently, they've been at it for nearly 20 years.
What's this now?
The Anti-Smut Crusaders, the latest round of Anti-Smut Crusaders that Shoney's talking about.
Yeah.
They've been at it for nearly 20 years. They're not new.
Damn.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The last video that Carvo posted is called Jimmy's Road Rage.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And besides, I'm gonna say this: these people need to realize. Look, if they care about children so badly, how about let the parents take care of their kids? If they're not taking care of their kids, well, here's the thing.
But don't assume you know more than the parents. Okay.
No, I'm just saying if they don't
she assumes that she knows better.
Yeah. And the thing
and
is,
you can't deal with fanatics that see, the society can't seem to grasp it. The people outside in the extremes, when they scream bloody murder, they might actually be, you know, the boy who cried wolf. They just can't seem to filter that out. That when somebody screams PDF file, they might actually not be. You know, it's
to get that clip of the two guys. Oh, we're the baddies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, with that note, I think we're going to wrap up there here. So we can get
so, yes.
I'll probably do Fortnite stream a little later, but I want to wrap now, so I'm not doing it too later. So
yeah. All right.
Take care, kids.